Hi, welcome to Saunders Sisterhood. I'm Carrie, and this is a YouTube channel for the single and childless, not by choice person. Our video today is, what if everyone around me is moving on and I'm not? That feeling when you feel like everybody else is living their life, progressing through adulthood, progressing through certain milestones, progressing through certain aspects of adulthood that we all expect and think that we're automatically going to go through. But not all of us do. Maybe you're thinking, why am I so stuck? And sometimes this is followed by thoughts that can make us feel hopeless, that can make us feel trapped, and like things won't ever feel okay again, and that you'll always be looking from the outside inward. That feeling of falling behind, of feeling left out on life's timeline can feel really overwhelming and stressful. It can feel really triggering, especially when you're childless, not by choice. The experience of being childless, not by choice, can be especially hard because you look around and it feels like everyone else is living this life that you want, that you thought you were going to have. No one ever really talks about it when it doesn't turn out the way you want. Nobody talks about being childless, not by choice. We talk about people not having kids as it being a choice. So sometimes people make the assumption that you don't have kids because it's your choice, and then your grief and support can feel forgotten, unseen, isolated. You can feel stuck in it while everybody else is living their life and nobody's really recognizing what you're going through. And feeling seen can be really important in healing. You see the baby showers, maybe you get invited to baby showers, the back to school pictures, the family pictures, the holiday pictures, the everyone in matching pajamas on Christmas Eve pictures, the family vacations, and that can feel triggering. That can feel hurtful. It can feel like an ache. And it isn't just from the grief of not having kids, but it can also be from that feeling of feeling left behind, of feeling othered, of feeling like you're not a part of the typical life. From feeling left out of the milestones and the adulting that others around you experience, they get excited about, they talk about, and they dream about. And you used to also dream about it. But now you're having dreams that are about, I don't know what it's going to look like. I don't know what I'm going to do. There's no blueprint for how to move forward. And when there's no blueprint, sometimes we stay where we're at. And sometimes as people are talking about their own excitement, which I don't begrudge them for, people should be able to talk about what they're excited about in their life, but sometimes they do that in a way without thinking, without trying to be hurtful, but kind of implying that, oh, not having kids would be awful. My life would be empty without this. And it kind of implies that you're living their worst nightmare, that your life must be miserable. And it doesn't have to be. So here's what I want you to know. You're not behind. You're on a different path. You're on the other path. But you're not on the wrong path. You're not on a less fulfilling path. You're not on a less meaningful path. You're not on a less purposeful path. Your path is still valid. It's meaningful. And it's a path that is worth taking. And you get to cultivate the future parts of your path. I'm not trying to make it sound easier than it is. Of course, it's very difficult. It can take a ton of effort, perseverance, grit to find your rhythm, to find the path that you feel like you want to start walking down. The pivot, the ultimate pivot, I would say. It's going to take more intention to build joy, meaning, and connection in a world that is built around parenthood. But it is possible. It's absolutely possible. And you don't have to rush. In fact, I would encourage you not to rush because it is important to go through the different parts of grief and to acknowledge the pain. There is no timeline for when you have to have it all figured out by. In fact, you probably never will. There's no timeline for when you have to accomplish certain things. Some through different life experiences at a different pace than others. And that's okay because your healing is not a race. Your life is not on pause, and you're not alone. It can feel like you're alone, and you are not alone. Take a look at this channel, for example. All I do is post videos that are specific to people who are childless, not by choice, and single. And there's over 1,000 subscribers. There's also community out there for people who are childless, not by choice. And community is important. When we talk about other types of grief, community is a really large part of healing and acceptance. When we talk about grief related to death, illness, divorce, certain types of trauma experiences, support groups are a large piece of what people talk about and what people say they found the most beneficial is being in community with people of shared experience. For the childless not by choice community, there is community out there. It can be difficult to sometimes find it due to the quietness. It can feel like not really knowing what you're supposed to Google. Other quietness meaning other people aren't talking about it, not really knowing what you need to Google to find it. Sometimes there's shame and even kind of acknowledging that this isn't going to happen. And also just straight up this not really being known as a type of grief. I had no idea about the phrase or the label or the community of childless not by choice. And I'm a therapist. I tell this story of where I stumbled across it because I went on one of those late night Google searches when I was feeling particularly down and put in like childless woman depressed, and different things popped up. And I was like, oh my goodness, I didn't even know that this was a thing. So I started to poke around a little bit. You can slowly dip your toe in this type of community. You can lurk through social media. You can start to comment a little bit more. You can start to show up at some of the webinars that happen or listen to podcasts. You can slowly start to build more where maybe you show up to some of the groups. If you feel like you need additional focus on coping, where to start, some guidance, some encouragement, I also have a book. And I know like everyone talks about the book that they're selling. And I do feel like it can be a really good starting off point. You can get it on Amazon. I'll put the link below. It's 5 30-day challenges to reflect, reset, and reclaim for the childless, not by choice person. I also have a coping skills playlist where I have videos where I talk about different types of coping that you can access for free through the channel. The idea is to try different things out, figure out what works best for you. Coping might change as you go. Coping, getting unstuck, healing, acceptance, it might not even be a destination. It might be more of a journey and one that you don't have to take alone. So follow Saunders Sisterhood for more videos and community for the single and childless, not by choice person.